Yo, what's good? It's your boy Derek Branch here, Memphis Wire on SportsView360.com. And for this week's weekly rundown post, just want to talk about some couple things that have came about with the Memphis Tigers men's basketball program yesterday. As I was, just checking online on X, looking at some content and all that to check out to view and read. This came across my timeline. Um, Posted by an article written by I won't say written, but posted on their account from Lighthouse Media, quoting Rick Pitino has also suggested adding schools like Dayton, St. Louis of the A10, and Memphis of the AAC. So this article written by the New York Post, Zach Brasler, that Rick Pitino adamant Big East will miss the boat if it doesn't expand into mega conference. So there was a talking to Rick Pitino the other day on Sirius XM with former legend. Well, I don't say former legend, but legendary head coach, former Duke head coach Mike Krzyzewski about why the league, the Big East needs to um, expand and become a bigger conference than what it already is right now. And he was just talking about him and Coach K was just talking about how the ACC and the Big East um, should merge to form one big league, similar to how conferences like the Big 12 and SEC and the Big 10 have bulked up over the past couple of years. As many of you already know, the Big 12 took a significant, well, I won't say significant, but the good teams that were in the the AAC, the contenders, the heavyweights in football and basketball, they are now members of the Big 12 conference. So Rick Pitino agreed that this should at least think about this because of the current landscape of college basketball. Here's the quote right here. Quote, I've been trying to get the Big East on board, and obviously I jumped on your bandwagon with that suggestion that you had, that combining with the ACC, because I've been trying to get them to start a Super League basketball league. Patino said before St. John's 68-62 win over UConn and get up to 16 teams. 11 is just not enough. And right now, a little bit like the ACC, we are not typical of the Big East of the past that was getting 8 or 9, 10 teams in the NCAA tournament. So I think we are missing the boat if we don't expand. Quote, it shouldn't be noted that the current iteration of the Big East ain't a new 6-year media rights deal with Fox, NBC, and TNT Sports last summer that were averaged nearly $80 million per year. It is an improvement on the current deal with Fox and CBS that expires at the end of the season. It, however, is not comparable to other conferences. The SEC, for instance, has a deal with Disney and ESPN that pays it $300 million annually. The Big Ten's media rights contract totals $7 billion over 7 years. Patino has suggested adding schools like Dayton, St. Louis of the Atlantic 10, and Memphis of the AAC. Now that will lessen the amount of money each school pulls in the current television deal. Quote, now the presidents, well, most of the presidents, and probably mine, who is a very knowledgeable basketball fan, think about money. They think about the bottom line, Patino said, and it's like a company like Uber starting out, and they're losing, 500 million a year, but they understand 10 years down the road, they're gonna be making billions of dollars. We just can't see that. We can't see that there's a lot of money to be made down the road if we form a super league. Quote, the coaches, I think, are in favor of Super League. He added, I just think the presidents are against it. As for the potential ACC Big East merger, there are complications. The Big East currently sits at 11 teams and the ACC has 18. A 29 conference isn't feasible. All right, so I'm going to just cut it off right there, man. I'm going to just cut it off right there, man. All right. So this makes a lot of sense, but what about football, man? Does Memphis Ed Scott, the new AD, does the athletic department want Memphis their two main money makers in two separate leagues? Does how would you feel as a Memphis fan, a Memphis athletic sports fan? How would you feel about having the Tigers in one conference and the basketball program in another conference? I mean, shouldn't you want that under one roof? Because you know, what about the Pac-12? What about that? What about that deal? I haven't heard anything new on that situation. If I did hear anything, it's just somebody online speculating. So there's no real, substance coming out in regards to that matter. But the reason why the ACC got so bigger, along with the Big Ten, is because of the football. The football is the main generator, money generator, next to college basketball. College basketball is not the cash, even though they make a lot of money around the Final Four and March Madness and things like that. It is not the cash cow that's college football. Now, back in the day when the dynamics were different, the Big East had a really good conference. It was a good conference for basketball and football. The Big East had Miami in it, Virginia Tech, Rutgers was in the Big East. I believe Temple was in the Big East, Syracuse, and a few others were part of that conference. But until then afterwards, um, Miami, Virginia Tech, and Syracuse moved to the ACC. That was like the one of the first installments of realignment. And then like years later, um, Rutgers goes to the Big Ten and get even more money. You know what I'm saying? So from a basketball viewpoint for college basketball for Memphis, it makes a lot of sense to go to the Big East from a basketball competitive standpoint. It would make a lot of sense because you have Memphis, UConn, Creighton, so many other good teams in that conference to deal with. I believe Providence is in the Big East. You got Marquette, they're part of the Big East. So it's a good league for basketball. And it would give Memphis, an opportunity to, you know, have a chance to play against some really good teams. You got UConn as well, two-time the defending national champion. So it give Memphis for basketball. This is great. It would be great to have those teams in your league along with Memphis. But football is where the drop down, the fall off would be because the Big East is not a football league. It's only about basketball. You know what I'm saying? Only for basketball. You got St. John's, Villanova, um, you know, a lot of good programs, and you get in the league, Georgetown, Xavier, Butler, DePaul. And if you get in a league like this, I mean, I know Memphis hasn't had an issue, doesn't have any issues competing against teams during the non-conference slate. But then you may not have to, load up on those teams during that non-conference slate if you play in the Big East to give you some room to breathe. Because they're gonna send quite a few teams. They're gonna send a couple teams to the tournament. I think St. John's is gonna go. Creighton is gonna go. Marquette maybe. UConn. I know they're not having a good year, but they're gonna go. You know what I'm saying? So compared to the AAC, which Memphis is in right now, they're not gonna they're only gonna send one team to the tournament. You know what I'm saying? But I think while this may sound good from a basketball standpoint, Money wise, I still don't think this will make. This is not the best. This is the best move for the program. Not the best move for the city and the university. If I'm Memphis, I'm still trying to position myself for the best deal possible, and that's even the Pac-12 over the Pac-12. I will still hold out hope to join the Big 12 because I think that's a lot. That's where the money is at right now. Big 12, Big 10, SEC, ACC. They just got a new re-up the deal with ESPN. So that's what I'll be shooting for. You want you need to go to a league where both of your main revenue generators can make the most money for the school and for the city. You know what I'm saying? Not have one school, one program, benefit compared to the other. Because if we're being honest, you leave Memphis in the AAC, Memphis football in the AAC, and you send and Memphis goes to the Big East, the level of competition goes way up for one program compared to the other. That's just what it is. It's just that simple. So no, I think it sounds good on paper, but if I'm Memphis, I'm trying to position myself for to join a bigger league, a league that has really good football programs and really good basketball programs. That's what I would do. Is I would do if I was Ed Scott in this situation. So, but this is all. This ain't nothing official. This ain't nothing concrete. This ain't nothing coming from college football reporters or anything like that. There's no rumors on the table right now. This is just Rick Pitino giving his opinion, and it makes sense, from a basketball standpoint. But like I said, if I'm Memphis, I'm trying to shoot higher than that, you know. So we'll see how it all play out. All right, right along. Yesterday it was the release of the top 25 college basketball rankings, and Memphis moved up again in both polls, and they're ranked at the same in both the Associated Press top 25 and the coaches poll. They are now 14th in the country and in the AP 25 and the coaches poll top 25. They are 14 as well. So and after the win over in the rematch against Temple, that led them to jump up even more higher in the top 25 in both polls. So everything is lining up for Memphis to have a really good year, especially after the news I got today of um, the news I got today of hold on a second of UAB losing tonight to I believe. Give me a second. Let me look at the conference standings real quick. Give me a second. UAB took a L tonight. They lost to East Carolina. My apologies. Lost to East Carolina tonight. So it just things are just shaping up for for Memphis right now. Everything is just coming into play, you know. And now with that loss to East Carolina, UAB now falls from second place behind Memphis to now third place. They're 15-9 overall and are 8-3 in the conference. Memphis currently sits up top of the AAC standings at 10-1, 20 and 24 overall, and followed by North Texas, who is trying to pull himself out of a slump they were recently in with an 8-3 record, 17-6 overall. So that's where we at right now. Like I said in the previous video, Memphis is having their best season yet under the watch of Penny Hardaway. They just got to continue to put up big numbers, continue to beat these teams, continue to beat. No matter, I don't care where these teams are at in the conference, they have to beat them. And I don't care if it's ugly or a blowout or a nail biter. They got to win these games, man. Got to win, and when they get to the tournament, they got to be successful as well. Plain and simple. It's no time to slack off. You got everything ahead of you right now. I know the injury and and it looks like they're gonna be able to hold down the fork without having Tyrese Hunter in the lineup. It was reported leading off to tip off against Florida Atlantic the other day that Tyree Hunter would be at the game, but he did not play. Yeah, Dante Harris did a phenomenal job in the spot. 14 points, 3 rebounds, 6 of 8 on 6 of 8 shooting. Played 29 minutes, so he did a really good job. So I don't think he's gonna play. It's a game time decision. He didn't practice. It's a game time decision against South Florida tomorrow. So I don't think he plays. He might not play the next two games. He just needs to be ready down the stretch for the bigger games. You got next two games are against South Florida and Wichita State. I mean, they're both on the road. I think I will hold him out of both of those games and probably bring him back around the rematch for Florida Atlantic because it looks like they're trying to make some noise as well after starting off on a sour note. But there's that, man. Memphis is now 14th in the Associated Press poll and the coaches poll. Now, in regards to bracketology stuff, right now Joe Lunardi has Memphis as, I believe, still a fifth seed, in the bracketology. His recent bracketology rankings, you know, and he has them in a seed with Auburn, not a seeding, but a region with Auburn. You got Auburn, Memphis, St. John's, High Point, Missouri. Places that Memphis knows all about. Baylor, Oregon, all those teams. So to be honest with you, the way I see it playing out, it is almost certain that Memphis will be playing an SEC team to get where they want to be. In order for them to have a deeper run in the NCAA tournament, they will be playing a upper echelon SEC program. And to be honest with you, this is not to put Memphis down. If Memphis does not, if Memphis is eliminated from the NCAA tournament, I think it's almost certain that an SEC team will win a national championship. An SEC team will win the national championship. Outside the SEC, I see Duke doing it. Duke won a national title. Other than that, I think a national championship winner will be coming from the Southeastern Conference, and the chances are high that Memphis will be playing one of these teams. They will be playing one of these teams. Missouri, Houston. They're familiar with Houston from their time in the AAC. They played Missouri early in the first game of the season, so it's almost certain they will be playing an SEC opponent, and it most likely will be a rematch against Auburn, either Auburn or Missouri. One of these teams is almost certain. So we just gotta wait and see how it all gonna play out. Tigers gotta close out strong and get ready for the tournament. But so far, man, they're looking good, man. They're looking good. Best day of looking on the Penny Hardaway. So, but that's all I have for y'all for right now. That's the weekly rundown. Give me a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Let me know how you feel. Um, Memphis at 14th in both polls, and tomorrow's matchup will be against South Florida on the road. That'll be the first meeting between the two teams. We all know how last year played out. Tigers blew that 20-point lead, that infamous 20-point lead at FedEx Forum on a snow day, and that pretty much turned the season upside down. So there's that. Have a blessed day. Peace. I'm out.